G'day everyone, welcome to the Chipperton Tramway workshops. My name's Chips and this is Toby, our works foreman. On today's episode we're winding the clock right back to 2020 when we first started building these carriages. Our story begins way before the Chipperton Tramway had become something more than a distant dream. When COVID first hit in 2020, I was looking for a project to keep me occupied during the lockdowns. I'd been involved in my nearest miniature railway, the Copper Coast Railway, for some time and had been noticing that the railway was short on carriages, with a couple of trains running with only one passenger car. The idea therefore was to build a couple of extra passenger cars that could be used by the railway until I had my own locomotive to pull them. The next decision I had to make was the design of the carriages. Most miniature railways in Australia use a variation of the A-frame carriages. While these are fit for purpose, for me I wanted something that when you take the people away had the look and feel of a real carriage. The Hamilton Miniature Railway Group in Victoria had some great wagons that looked like South Australian Railways open wagons, which I absolutely loved. And these formed the basis of my design. Okay, so now with the basic design in my head, it was actually time to start firming up the actual dimensions of the carriage so that we could start building. Now, the length of the carriage was limited by the length of the trailer, as these carriages would need to be transported down to our local club each week, and I want the freedom to be able to take the carriages to different clubs around Australia. So, with the trailer at 8 foot, I made the carriages at 7.5 feet long because that then gives me room at either end to tie the carriages to the trailer. The width of the carriage needed to allow for the width of the seat and enough room for people's feet to fit down between the seat and the side of the carriage itself. So that put the width of the carriages at about 1 foot 10.5 inches. With everything worked out, it was time to build. Using 2x2 inch tubing, I created the basic rectangle outline of the underframe. Extra cross beams were later added to ensure enough strength for the floor. Uprights were then installed, which will eventually hold the sides of the wagons in place. By the end of the 2020 April school holidays, we had 2 basic skeletons of underframes, and you could begin to picture what the final product would look like. The completion of the carriage underframes brought us a new challenge in that we had to find somewhere to store them. So in our next episode we'll look at how we put rails onto the trailer to give our carriages at home. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out any updates to the Chipperton Tramway. See you next time.